Hey guys, how's it going? James here from Butler Farms. Back out here in the yard today, still doing cleanup. It's going to be an ongoing process. I got a good bit done yesterday, got everything chunked up, and now it's just a matter of moving it. And I was able to get a lot of the big chunks out of here yesterday, and that's my goal today. It's the end of the work week, so I can work on into dark and get this done. I did want to speak to you just a minute as I got to thinking today. You know, people ask me all the time, do I need to buy this? Do I need a tractor? Do I need all this equipment? That's a yes and no kind of question. You know, I've been here where I am now for about 24 years. And all the gardening and everything that I've done pretty much by hand, meaning that I've had a little walk behind rear tine tiller that I've done all my gardening with, and it's a lot of work. It is a tremendous amount of work, and all these years I've been wanting a tractor, wanting a piece of equipment. You've heard me say this before, and you know, it just wasn't the right time financially. I am not one of those kind of people that's going to go to you know, the Kubota place or the John Deere place and say, hey, load me up one of those and go into debt over it. But an opportunity came along a couple of months ago to get a little piece of equipment. It is used, and you know, I prefer it that way. It's a little bit cheaper, a little bit more economical, and it's really helping me with this job. It's really helped me with the garden this year. I've already broken the garden twice this year already to turn those weeds under. I'm going to do it again hopefully this weekend if I can get this mess cleaned up behind me one last time before I get ready to start planting. And you know, it's just everything that I need. I'm sure at one point in my life I was really wanting to get a big piece of equipment, you know, with all the bells and whistles and everything like that, and it's just not needed. You know, at some point you've got to go with what you've got. Like I said, for the last 23 years I've been doing it with a rear tine tiller. I still use the rear tine tiller. After I break it one more time, I don't have a tiller attachment for my tractor, so I will use the rear tine tiller to get that seed bed like I like it before I actually plant. But the tractor has been a wonderful help already, and people always told me, you know, I drove tractors and did things growing up with tractors that but I've never owned one, and so it was time. You know, if I'm going to continue to grow this and make it happen, then it was time to get me something that I could work with. And my dad actually came across this, and you can see what I'm doing here with it. It's got a little bucket on the front of it, and with this bucket you can see the size chunks that I'm able to carry. Now in the past I would have had to have put this in the bed of my truck, and I could have gotten a lot more in the bed of my truck, but I drive a full-size Ford F-150, and so lifting something like that into the back of my truck obviously is a two-person job. Well, I'm out here by myself, and I can put that bucket down and I can get it close to the ground and pretty much just roll them up in there. And you can see that those are two pretty good sized chunks that I'm getting ready to go dump down in the pile. The other problem with putting them in the truck, as I've done in years past, is where I have to go dump it is you know, is almost impossible to get a truck down in there and get it back out, get turned around, back all the way down into the woods and be able to get out. I've actually done some damage to my truck over the years doing that. With the tractor it's so much easier. I can just pull down there, and you know, it doesn't, with the way it's set up, I can just go. I have been able to put together a few pieces of equipment to go with it. You can see my little 5-foot disc here on the back. I just decided to leave it hooked up simply because I'm going to use it this weekend, and it kind of counteracts all that weight in the front. You can see here. This is a piece of a plow here that I really, my garden really needed to be broken deep. It hasn't. I had a gentleman across the road who, a dear friend of mine who's passed away now and been gone several years, and he came over years ago and broke my garden extremely deep. We in the South, and I guess in other places too, we have something called a hard pan, which when you get down to it, needs to be broken up every once in a while, and he was able to do that. Well, I was able this year to take that and hook it here and break that hard pan again, and man, it just tills up so good with this now that I've broken that hard pan. And you know, over time I hope to put together some more equipment. I hope to put together some more pieces. I would love to have a little tiller attachment here on the back that I can hook to the 3-point hitch and PTO and be able to just disc it, drop the disc, put the tiller on. And if you've ever seen the work that they do in the garden, man, it is just beautiful what they do. So, you know, when people ask me those things, you know, don't ever put yourself in a bind with equipment. Go with what you've got. Go with what you can afford. Like I said, this is a used tractor. It's very used, but it still runs good. It does everything that I need it to do. I waited for a long time to get my hands on a piece of equipment like this. And it's one of those things that if you're going to get into this lifestyle, it's another thing that you need to consider. You know, especially if you are going to do big pieces of land, if you've got a lot of land that needs to be worked, it's going to, you know, I've done it with a tiller, but it's going to be a lot of work, and it gets pretty discouraging because of the time and the effort that has to go into it when you see everybody else around with tractors. And so it's a wonderful addition here on the homestead. It's a wonderful addition that's going to pay off. It's already paid off just in this spring, and I don't even have any plants in the ground yet. So it has been a big payoff. You know, I can honestly say that it is worth every dime. And for me, where I am now, getting close to retirement as far as my full-time job, and I'll be able, once I retire, I'll be able to expand and do even more. Right now my time is very limited, and so once I retire and I expand the garden and I expand those kind of things, this piece of equipment will absolutely be critical in being able to do that and becoming more self-sufficient. Again, it's not necessary, it's not something that you have to have, but it's one of those things that just makes life so much easier and so much more pleasurable to do this kind of work. And so, you know, I'm just thrilled to have it. It's helping out here cleaning up this yard. I hope to have all the big chunks out of here in just a little while. These are I've got some ones even bigger than this that probably it'll just be one chunk per run, but that's fine. That's what I'm out here to do, and get it cleaned up, and you know, move on to the next thing tomorrow with what I've got planned as far as getting back to more of the farming and the homesteading and things like that. My list that I have made, my kids make fun of me because I've got lists everywhere. And I have to live by list or I'll forget within 5 minutes what I'm supposed to be doing. But just one more thing to consider on the homestead, the kind of equipment you'll need for the projects that you're thinking about. And let me throw a word of caution in there too, because I hear a lot of people doing this, and I see a lot of people doing this. They people I work with, people I know, they watch my videos, and man, they go full in, and there's nothing wrong with that to an extent. I know one particular family that just they went from nothing to, I think they've got 21 or 22 raised beds, and this will be their first year. And you know, I pray everything goes well. I really do. I think with what they've told me that they're going to plant, I think they're going to be kind of overwhelmed. But it's one of those things that live and learn. you know, if you're thinking about this lifestyle, just dip your toe in the water. You don't have to jump into the deep end all at one time. Make sure this is what you want to do. Make sure that this is the lifestyle that you want to live. It takes up a lot of your free time. You're not going to be having a lot of other hobbies if you're going to live this lifestyle, because it's going to take up a lot of that, what you would call spare time, a lot of that downtime when you are not at your full-time job. And it's just one thing to consider. And before you go buy equipment, before you go buy you know, before you invest too heavily to where you can't back out of it, just give it a try. You start on a small scale this year. Start on a, you know, just a couple of raised beds. If you've got room for an in-ground garden, just do a little small garden and see how it works. Experiment this year and see what you like, what you don't like. If it's something you want to do, and if it is, then expand, you know, as you move forward. And if you need equipment at that point, then invest in equipment. This is the lifestyle that I've chosen. I know that piece of equipment right there will be something that I use pretty much several times a week for as long as I'm able to live this kind of lifestyle. And you know, it's something to think about. Just don't get yourself stretched out too far too quick. You need to make sure that this is what you want to do. And a lot of people find out that they do want a little bit of a garden, they do want a few raised beds, but they don't want to go all in. And so that's fine, that's great. At least you're growing something, at least you are producing some of what you eat. And the beautiful thing about that is you haven't gotten in over your head to where you can't get back out and you feel like you're trapped and you have to keep doing it. And you know, there's a lot to be said for realizing your limitations and what you want to do with your time and the effort that you have to put into it. So I'm gonna get back on that tractor, man. I've got a lot to move, as you can see. I've got a long way to go, but I'm gonna get after it and enjoy every bit of it, because now I've got something I can work with, and it's been a long time coming, guys. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Please hit that thumbs up button and tell your friends about us. We love what we do. We're going to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly, however it turns out. And so until next time, God bless. This is James from Butler Farms, and we'll be seeing you.